Coronavirus real estate market update. Stay tuned. Things are changing so fast. Promise you, it'll be worth it. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. So glad you could join me here today. It is March 21st, 2020. As part of the self-isolation, I am at home with the wife and Coco, and we are spending some time together, but I wanted to give you guys an update as to kind of what's going on and what I'm seeing on my end. So first thing that's happening right now is the banks will be increasing their variable mortgages by 25 or 30 basis points. That's what I've been told. This is telling me that the banks are seeing a little bit more risk in the lending on the mortgage side, which means they're increasing their rates. Now, this is counterintuitive to kind of what the Bank of Canada's been saying, because they're buying back a lot of their mortgages and they're trying to increase liquidity. What that means is they don't want to have credit freeze up on the bank side. So they want the banks to keep lending money out to prevent kind of a recession. However, when the rates are going up, it becomes harder for other people to borrow, or the banks are just seeing it to be more risk. So that's why they're increasing their interest rate. The second thing that I'm seeing right now is OREA, the Ontario Real Estate Association, the board that kind of gives people their licenses for real estate. They officially banned open houses, which is great because a lot of agents were still conducting open houses, and it's kind of endangering a lot of lives if anyone does catch anything from that. So I'm glad to see that. However, what that means is we should start slowly seeing less and less activity and transaction that happens, because even though we have ideas such as like digital marketing or like virtual tours, that doesn't mean that's the best way to sell a house. So I do expect activity to slow down a little bit more in the next few weeks. I will make a video next week to kind of see what kind of difference we have had to see and what kind of rates and transactions and sale prices next week. Now, the third thing I want to talk to you guys about is it's kind of like a double whammy. The first thing, there's been a lot of talk about mortgage deferral from the big six banks. I talked about it in my last video as well. I actually tried to go and talk to the bank to see what they're offering, but it sounds like it's on a case-by-case basis, depending on which bank you have. I've also spoken to some of my mortgage brokers about it. And really, the only thing I can get that's a kind of a consistent thing is, although you're able to defer your mortgage, they're going to put an interest on it. So it's not that it's kind of free, you pause your mortgage. The bank is going to work with you, if you're capable, on a case-by-case basis to not let your credit get tanked and you don't have to make the payments. But any interest that's accrued kind of within that 6-month period of when you are deferring it is going to get tacked onto your mortgage. Now, how they're going to do that? Is it like double compounded? Is it added to principal? I don't know. I've been told that on Monday there should be more information that's coming out from TD and Scotia. BMO has had some criteria set in place already. So those of you who have a BMO mortgage, maybe you can call in. What I do know is that the phone lines are probably going to be like crazy right now. So expect a little bit of wait. Now, the second part to the third thing I want to talk about is Doug Ford. Or Rob Ford? No, Doug Ford. Yeah, Doug Ford. Let's get that mixed up. Doug Ford prevented eviction. So what that means is you're no longer be able to have a tenant move out if they're not paying rent, which is fantastic, because those of us who, or those people who are renting, they shouldn't have to worry about being homeless in this kind of pandemic. However, one of the things that I can see that could be problematic is if someone doesn't pay rent, like a tenant, and you as a owner or a landlord actually need to pay the mortgage, even if you defer it, that's lost money for you, and that could be spelling trouble. So what I have is a paralegal that'll be coming on to the show next week to kind of talk about the situation, because I know a lot of tenants are kind of trying to take advantage of it, or those who actually need it. The landlord should help, but now the landlords are in financial trouble because they're not getting rent payments. So I'll have someone to come on next week to kind of talk about that. So stay tuned for that. While I'm talking about that, next week I'm also going to have a mortgage broker to come on the show to kind of talk about what they're seeing on the mortgage front, what's happening with the rates and with the refinances and the appraisals, because a whole bunch of things are happening on the mortgage side right now. And that's exactly why, because of all the change, why I'm telling everyone maybe you should take a pause on buying or selling right now, because everything is changing at such a rapid rate. I also written down one more thing that I was going to talk about. The last thing is, because we are having kind of like a semi-recession that's coming down the pipeline, the banks are opening up a lot of liquidity. What that means is the Bank of Canada is allowing banks to lend more money so that they can keep adding more credit to the economy so that it doesn't collapse. But like I was saying earlier, the interest rates are they're going up, which is counterintuitive to what the Bank of Canada and the central banking system wants us to do. And the other thing is the government is buying back a lot of the mortgages from the banks to free up their books. So what that means is they want the banks to be as liquid as possible, meaning have ability to lend as much money as possible to people like us so that we can continue putting money into the economy. However, the banks are freezing up right now. So there's a little bit of a tug and a pull, and I'm gonna keep an eye on what's happening right now. So those are kind of the updates that's happening. If anyone has kind of any concerns about what's going on with their personal situation, I'm happy to have a quick chat with you guys to maybe see if I can help you, whether you're investing or you have a tenant issue. I'll leave a link in the description below for how you can contact me. Actually, I'll just put my screen contacts on the screen right here, okay? Everyone stay safe, wash your hands, self-quarantine, and enjoy some Netflix, okay? I'll catch you guys next time. See ya. Bye. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.